The lullaby was playing. Soft, repetitive, familiar. Dort. I stirred in bed, half asleep, listening to the gentle hum from the baby monitor beside me. Our daughter had been stirring a lot lately. Growth spurt, teething, maybe both. I reached for the monitor on instinct, eyes still closed. That's when I heard it. A voice. Not mine, not his. A woman's. Whispering, laughing. Then, his voice. Agliolo. Intimate. My heart didn't race. It stopped. I sat up slowly, the room suddenly too quiet under the lullaby. I stared at the monitor, watching the static flicker. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I listened. I walked the hallway barefoot, holding the monitor like it might bite. Her voice was clearer now. Honeyed, practiced, familiar in a way that twisted my stomach. He was laughing. Softly, gently. The same laugh he gave me in the beginning. The hallway lights buzzed overhead, and the baby cooed in the distance, oblivious. It wasn't just that they were together. It was I were. In her room. Our daughters. I pressed the volume button up slowly, like torture. His voice. She's still asleep. We've got time. My grip tightened. The monitor shook. I didn't. My fury had no volume. Just direction. I stood at the nursery door, the baby's name etched in soft colors above the handle. The name we chose together. The voices inside had faded to whispers and rustling fabric. I didn't open it. I didn't knock. I looked at my reflection in the nameplate. Pale skin, red eyes, and underneath, something steel. The morning light crept up behind me like judgment. I turned the monitor off, not because I couldn't listen anymore, but because I'd heard enough. They thought they were unseen, unheard, but I was wide awake now, and I wasn't leaving. I was learning. I sat in the kitchen without making a sound. No breakfast, no music, just the tick of the clock and the unplugged baby monitor staring back at me. 7:03 a.m. The time he usually kissed my cheek, poured 2 mugs and said, "You look tired, babe." He was right. I was tired. Of pretending. Of trusting. Of being the one who always forgave first. The red mug in front of me stayed cold. Like me. Upstairs I heard their quiet footsteps, her giggle trying not to echo. They didn't know what I knew, and I had no plans to let them see it yet. Through the kitchen window, I saw him in the yard, rocking our daughter in his arms. A perfect morning scene, framed in sunlight. Safe, clean. But behind him, just inside the doorframe, she waited. I saw her reflection in the glass, lips smirking, hair tousled, wearing warmy robe. She the one I used in the hospital. My stomach clenched, but my face stayed still. Let him play father. Let her pretend invisible. I memorized every detail. How he kissed our baby's forehead like a man who didn't deserve to. How her eyes flicked toward mine, and then quickly away. She knew. She ain't knew I saw her. I waited until they were gone. The house felt hollow without the performance. I picked her up, my daughter, her breath warm against my neck. I bounced gently, soothing her back to sleep, then reached for my phone. I didn't scroll aimlessly. I knew what I was looking for. His name. Her husband. The one I met once at a holiday party. Kind, awkward, unaware. I tapped the message box. My thumb hovered. Then I typed, "You should check your baby monitor history. 6:42 a.m. I hit send. No name. No context. Just a seed. My daughter stirred. I held her tighter. Revenge didn't need volume. It needed timing. Back in the nursery, I stood where she had, next to the crib, near the monitor. The mobile spun slowly overhead, playing the same lullaby they had whispered over. My phone buzzed. A reply. Who is this? No punctuation, no pleasantries. I imagined his face, confusion blooming into suspicion. I didn't reply. I simply sent the audio file I'd saved. Their voices, tangled with static and lullabies. Let the truth arrive like a ghost in his inbox. Let it speak louder than I ever could. I brushed my daughter's cheek with the back of my finger. The room still smelled like her, not the other one. Me. Only me. The house stayed quiet. No storms. No screams. Just the rustle of laundry and the soft drum of the dryer. I folded bibs, onesies, tiny socks. Then, the red dress. Not for them. Not for him. For me. It lay across the table like a challenge, vivid against all the white. I hadn't worn it since before pregnancy. Before this house. Before the monitor turned traitor. I ran my fingers over the fabric, remembering who I was before sleepless nights and quiet betrayals. Not angry. Not broken. Focused. I set the dress aside. I'd wear it when the moment came, not before. Dusk came like a slow inhale, filling the nursery with long shadows. I stood by the crib watching her sleep, so peaceful it almost hurt. My phone lit up again. One line, I heard it. Thank you. That was all. No name, no anger, no denial. Just truth acknowledged. I stared at the screen until it dimmed, the silence stretching like glass. It was enough. Not revenge. Not yet. But connection. A quiet alliance between the betrayed. The baby sighed in her sleep. I kissed her forehead. Tomorrow, the red dress. Tonight, I planned. Cold. Careful. Certain. I didn't speak that morning. I didn't make coffee or smile, or ask how he slept. I wore the red dress. The one that fit tighter now, like memory stitched to skin. The mirror fogged as I applied my lipstick, deliberate, unhurried. He walked past the door, said something casual. I didn't respond. I just watched my own reflection. This wasn't performance. It was prelude. I wanted him to see me, finally. Not as a wife or mother, but as consequence. The lullaby still played from the nursery monitor. I let it loop, let it haunt, let it warn. He was lifting her from the crib when I stepped into the doorway. Red-dressed dwarf, bare feet, arms folded, his back straightened like a man sensing danger in the room, but not yet seeing it. He turned, smiled. It faltered when he saw my face. I said nothing. The silence pressed against the pastel walls, louder than a scream. His eyes searched mine for kindness, for routine. I gave him neither. Just a steady look that said, I know. I know everything. He clutched our daughter tighter, not from love, from guilt. He opened his mouth to speak. I turned away. The envelope made a soft sound as I laid it down. Manila da. Clean. Vinyl da. Inside, transcripts, photos, dates, audio clips. Everything I'd heard. Everything I'd saved. He stood across the kitchen, still trying to find the version of me that would forgive. She didn't live here anymore. I poured 2 mugs of coffee like any other morning. Placed his across for mine. Sat down. Didn't touch it. Just looked at him. He stepped forward, hesitant. Is this? He started. I raised my hand. One word. Sit. My voice didn't shake. The red dress didn't wrinkle. The reckoning had arrived, quietly, on porcelain and paper. He didn't deny it. He didn't even speak. Just sat there. the way a man sits when his future has already been written by someone else. I left him at the table. No theatrics, no exit speech, just silence, the kind that follows a verdict. Back in the nursery, I held her. My daughter, her breath warm, steady. The envelope now rested on the dresser, unopened, unnecessary. What mattered was this moment, this small heartbeat wrapped in pink cotton. She wouldn't remember what he did, but she'd feel what I refused to allow. That was enough. I didn't slam the door. I didn't cry. I walked, stroller in one hand, bag over my shoulder, red dress cutting a line through the dull colors of the neighborhood. People looked, unsure whether to compliment or avoid. I liked that. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. I wasn't the woman I was yesterday. I wasn't even the woman I was at dawn. I was the mother who listened, who learned, who left on her terms. I walked without rushing. There was no emergency, just clarity, and a new direction that didn't require permission. We stopped at a cafe. I ordered tea, something herbal, gentle. My daughter slept beside me, one hand peeking from her blanket. I watched the street in silence, stirring sugar into the cup like I'd done it every day of my life. Nothing around me had changed, not the sky, not the trees, not the people walking by, but everything inside me had. I didn't need to prove anything. I didn't need to explain. I had heard the truth through static, and now the noise was gone. In its place, peace. Still, sharp, dotty, earned. Later that day, I caught my reflection in the laundromat mirror. Red dress still bold, one strap slipping slightly from my shoulder. I adjusted it with one hand, my daughter resting quietly on my hip, her eyes wide, watching me the way only babies do. Like you're the whole sky. I smiled at her, soft and tired, but proud. This was the version of me she would remember. Not the woman who waited by a monitor, but the one who moved, who chose herself, who never let silence become surrender. The lullaby had ended. I was writing my own song now. Back at the house, dusk had returned. The nursery sat in half shadow. He stood alone, one hand resting on the crib's edge. No baby, no laughter, just the faint flicker of the monitor, static whispering like regret. He leaned in, as if it might speak again, as if it might rewind and undo the moment everything cracked. But it didn't. It only buzzed. The lullaby had long stopped. The silence was louder now. He stared at the crib, remembering what it sounded like when love still lived in the room. But now, even the monitor refused to lie for him. The day ended in gold. I walked through the field near my sister's house, tall grass brushing against my legs, my daughter warm against my chest. The red dress flowed behind me like fire without smoke. No destination, just a way. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need apology. I had truth and the strength not to unhear it. The baby stirred, her breath soft. I whispered, "You're safe now." Not from the world, from the silence, from the lie.